Hi everyone, welcome to AKT's quarterly release webinar. My name is Danny Cohen and I'm AKT's Head of Technical Solutions in the HR Cloud practice. I'll be presenting today's webinar together with my colleagues Moti Itzkovich and Ran Shapira.
Let us now move on to SuccessFactors Learning enhancements for this release. Until this upcoming release, recommendations were based on either peer-to-peer recommendations between learners or on learning administrators setting up recommendations to learner populations using assignment profiles. With this release, we are seeing the first step of a revolution in this area. SAP is adding personalized recommendations based on machine learning capabilities of the SAP Leonardo platform. These targeted recommendations are based on taking what we know about an individual user, including their profile information and learning activity, and applying machine learning algorithms. Users can help maximize relevancy by indicating topics of interest, which focuses the recommendation engine. The feature is currently being restricted to customers who qualify to be included in the early adopter program. Another limitation is that it applies only to catalog content in the English locales. The recommendations will appear in the already existing recommendation display areas, on the recommendation style on the user learning homepage, on the catalog browsing page, recommended for you section, as well as using the recommendations newsletter email notification. Customers who are interested in enabling this feature need to fill a form, and SuccessFactors will engage the customer to properly set up this feature and monitor progress. The learning programs feature availability on mobile was originally planned for the previous SuccessFactors release, but was eventually delayed into this release. It will become available on the August release, mobile release for iOS, and on the September release for Android. On image 1, on the left, you can see the program view when entered into from the course catalog. The agenda is fully displayed with highlights of up to 2 learning items per program section, with the option to expand to fully view the section content. On the middle 2 images, you can see the full view of a program after it is already assigned to a user. You can see the familiar progress bar at the top, the launch option for online items, and on the image to the far right, you can see the option to mark a text item as complete. As Moti mentioned earlier, SuccessFactors are introducing a new early adopter capability called Digital Assistant or Copilot, which allows intelligent conversational interaction based on free text and voice. For SuccessFactors Learning, this will allow learners to search the learning catalog for topics, list their learning plans and to-dos, add or remove learning courses to the learning plan, view learning classes for an instructor-led learning course, and enroll or unenroll from a learning class. Again, customers interested in Digital Assistant Beta Program can reach out to Abhijit Salvi from SAP, whose details are on this presentation here. And here is a glimpse of how this can be used for learning. On the left side, the 2 images, you can see the mobile app example of asking to enroll in a scheduled course and of presenting entire learning plan for the user. On the right is a web example of using the top of page action search to launch actions such as show me courses and show me learning plan options, learning enrollment options. You can see the search result appear under the SAP Copilot section of the search result. SuccessFactors keeps moving away from the native plateau interface. In this release, all customers must be integrated with BizX. A standalone LMS mode is not supported anymore. But there are a few exceptions. So while internal users and dual login are not supported anymore, although they still exist, external users are still supported as well as admin native login. End of life for all these native scenarios is Q3 of 2020. And now we're moving to our deep dive for this session today. which is course home. So if you're familiar with the current design of course pages in SuccessFactors Learning, you know that although they are doing the job, they do not provide a great user experience and have a quite simple design. All this will change with Course Home, which is a redesign of the learning experience for launching and completing online courses, as well as for enrolling into scheduled offerings. So let's now deep dive into this topic. So after 3 releases where it was available in preview environments only, it will now be available also in production. It is an admin opt-in that can be enabled from the LMS admin configuration. It is very important to understand that the Course Home enhancement in the user interface and learner experience does not require any action on the admin side when creating or managing courses. The only implications on the admin side should be to test whether the content launched and the displayed images and data work as expected, like they did in the old UI, or that some adjustments are needed. We believe this enhancement is important because it is a major leap forward in learner experience, and now is a good timing to evaluate for yourself whether adopting it is a good choice for you. In this deep dive, we'll cover what is the expected user experience, a learner experience, and provide you some considerations and recommendations for implementation. We will start with the online courses and then move to cover the scheduled ones in Course Home. So what are the main goals of the online Course Home enhancements? So first of all, fewer clicks to launch the course, a more intuitive experience, providing the required info without overwhelming the user, allowing collaboration without multiple screens, such in the case of switching between LMS and GEM, and better discoverability of the content. There are 2 main elements to Course Home for online items. The course page, which is also what the learner can see before starting a course and when opening it from the catalog, and course player or course details, which is where the learning activity occurs. You can launch the course player by clicking the Start Course button on the course page. Let's take a closer look at the course page. We have a large thumbnail image where the Start Course button is embedded. Beside it on the right is the summary information, which includes course duration, credit, target audience, rating, and version information. There is contact information. There are related topics, which are actually the subject areas related to the course. Notice that in Course Home, I think there is a good attempt by SuccessFactors to use terminology that is more friendly to the users and not the technical terminology that we're using on the admin side, like subject areas. And at the bottom, we can see course associations, which are links to programs, curricula, and collections, which include this course in case the learning might prefer to take the full path. Zooming into the top part of the course page, we can see the course title, the course description, which shows up to 230 characters of the full description, and the primary action button, which will display the most relevant action, such as start course, continue course, assign to me, or buy course. If the course has a prerequisite before it can be launched, that is indicated in a message box at the top of the page with a link to open the prerequisite tab, which is at the bottom, from where the learner can see what prerequisites have been met and what prerequisites are unmet and can be immediately self-assigned. Commerce functionality, of course, is supported as well, such as displaying the course price and having the buy course available as the primary action button in the course page. The main section of the course player page is the content player. Here you can play videos or SCORM-wrapped e-learning modules in either inline launch, as you can see on this snapshot, or as full screen with and without content structure links beside it, or simply launch it in a new browser. At the bottom of the page, you may see the community forum of the course in case you have LMS GEM integration on your environment. When the course is considered complete, an additional node with the label Confirm Completion will appear under the course content panel. When users click it, they can see an indication that the course has been completed and get a link to start a feedback survey if that is relevant. If the course requires an e-signature to confirm the completion, then that as well will appear on the Confirm Completion node. So that was about the online course home, and now let's move to the scheduled course home aspect. It is a complete redesign of how users register to instructor-led courses. The main benefits of the new course home in this area include reducing the number of clicks it takes to register, surfacing course information that users need most when considering or deciding to take a class, reducing process abandonment due to people thinking they were already registered when they actually weren't, and increasing confidence in registration completion. You can see the upcoming available classes in your region from the course page, or click the Find Class button to go to the Scheduled Offering search page. Notice that the term used in Course Home is classes and not Scheduled Offering as on the admin side. In the Scheduled Offering search page, you can see the upcoming course openings with indications of the number of available seats, indication of classes that are nearly full, which means less than 20% seats left, schedule conflicts, and details such as dates, location, and instructor. In the class or scheduled offering page, you can even see the full agenda of the course sessions, which reflect the scheduled offering segments. This is a better display than what we used to have in the old UI. So I encourage you to consider setups like using segments to represent a specific session and not only full day segments, since we have this nice option as well. If the course requires registration approval, this is indicated above the registration button, so the learner can consider that before clicking to register. This is an improvement over the current experience where the learner finds out only after clicking to register that an approval is required. And now for a list of known limitations that we currently have for Course Home. First of all, it only works for internal users. External users will see the old UI. So if you have an implementation which includes both internal and external, their learning experience will be different. So take that into consideration. Blended items, which includes both scheduled segments and online content, are still not supported in Course Home, and the old UI will appear for them. So if you have a lot of blended courses, you might consider waiting until this is supported. Supervisor flows will still be in the old UI. Course review will still be in the old UI, which means when the learner launches content from the learning history, it will be in the old UI currently. Slots-based registration is not supported yet. It is supported on the admin side, but it will not work with the new Course Home on the user side. Item requests, the famous request schedule option, is not supported yet. E-signatures are supported, as we mentioned, but e-signatures with additional approval flows are not yet supported. And lastly, items which include legacy PQ exam will display in the old UI. So I would like to provide you, 3 recommendations or ways to consider whether to implement Course Home at this stage. So number 1, I suggest you evaluate the impact of the current Course Home limitations on your learning processes. In some cases, the impact is too big. For example, having a lot of blended courses in your course catalog, or having a significant external learning population. Anyway, don't be tempted to get the benefits while losing some functionality you had in the old UI that your users may be expecting. For example, if your learning process allows employees to request new class schedules, which is not yet supported in Course Home, you may want to wait with the implementation. Recommendation number 2, if your SuccessFactors Learning is about to go live in the coming months, you should consider adopting Course Home from the get-go to create a consistent learning experience. You should try to avoid going live this year with the old UI and then within a few months changing the learner experience with Course Home. And the last recommendation, we suggest you enable Course Home in your preview environment. It's available there. Test it, make sure it covers all your learning processes, and evaluate if any additional effort may be required to launch this feature successfully. So that's it on Course Home and on Learning and Jam in general. Thank you, and back to Danny.
Thank you, Ran, for the deep dive and the LMS session. If you have any question, please contact us through your AKT account manager. Thank you for attending and have a nice day. Bye-bye.